We're here, y'all.
Yeah.
Barely. Please comment below.
All the things. Our first time on live, so
first
you know.
time. You know, there's a little kinks.
Yeah, right. Give us a little grace. All
It
the
is
things.
what it is.
Yeah.
But we love y'all. We appreciate whoever is joining us tonight. Right now, we're talking to the space.
Right.
But we will.
Good.
Yeah, it's fine.
So good. First time, you gonna get better.
Yeah,
grow.
We are gonna get better, so much better,
All
and
things.
like we have proven that so much already. I mean, we started this podcast in September, and we have gotten last September, not even a year ago, and we've gotten so much better since then.
Absolutely. Which is great. Been growing. You know what I'm saying? All the things. We appreciate you. I see somebody coming in here.
Oh, hey.
How y'all coming in? You know.
Drop something in the chat, baby.
Yeah, you know, we want to try to talk to you. You can talk shit with you. You know?
Oh, you left? Well, come on back, baby. Come on back.
Been nervous.
I know. That's like when you arrive first to the party and you're like, "Ooh, I got to wait in my car for about 30 minutes and then I'll come back."
This is.
But so welcome to season 3.
Season 3
of
kickoff.
Talkin Shit ATL.
Yeah, let's go.
So I'm one of your hosts, Amanda Ellenberg.
And I'm your other host, Prodigy Q.
And yeah, we decided to do this actually 3 months ago.
Yeah, right.
And we decided on a movie then.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, has so much happened since.
Right.
So the movie that we're reviewing tonight is called Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever. Weird name.
Right.
Let's start out there.
Right.
Very weird name, very like convoluted. You get nothing about like what's gonna happen from the name. And also Ecks versus Sever, like both of those names are I've never heard anybody. Hey Holly, hi. I've never heard anybody be called Ecks or Sever.
Right, ever. You know, I mean, I don't know if I can say this prematurely or not, but I will say that it wasn't until like almost halfway through the movie I realized
we even learned
that's their name. That was their name.
And the whole movie, we were like, who's who? They didn't tell us anybody's names for like probably 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
I just figured one of them was Ecks and one of them was Sever. Also, you could not understand anybody. We had the volume up to like, so, oh my God, not that. Please. I put on my Do Not Disturb, and then someone called me during this, so I really hope they don't call back. I love them, but stay away right now.
Another time.
Yeah, but
so much with this movie you haven't heard of, if you haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would tell you to check it out or not, but I think I would, but at the same time, I think you definitely should at the same time.
I mean, if you want to be in on the conversation, check it out. But
check it out.
Our process to getting to this movie was so hard. Like, we started to watch it, like, 2 months ago, like a month after we decided we were going to do it. We had one of those apps, we won't say the name, where you could watch the movies and stuff that, you know, that you couldn't watch on other apps. I'll say that. And we got about 20 minutes in. And it cut off, and it would not restart. I watched like 12 different ads to get a VPN to be able to watch it on another country's VPN. That would not show up. I have no idea why my family's calling me so much right now. I'm so sorry.
Definitely love you right now. They're like, no, she's recording.
Yeah.
Let's give her a call. You know?
And now my Wi-Fi gave out.
Oh no.
We're doing great, y'all. I put on my why does Do Not Disturb not work nowadays? I put on my Do Not Disturb, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and they know the what is it, like the gimmick, you know, you gotta call it twice to get through. So they know one time, let's call it again.
Right. But my little anxious ass is like, why did they call me back to back? They normally don't call me.
I know.
So
you think like, oh my God, is everything okay? Is that right?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do if they call back again. Like, I guess they'll text me if something's going on. But anyways, so we watched it and put any like, if you have any questions or comments or if you've seen the movie or not, put it in the comments below.
Yeah.
But hey, we got someone on YouTube as well. Hello. But yeah, so then this movie is impossible to find. If you're just now joining, it's Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever.
Yes.
And like,
we didn't bring the
I had to. Oh, yep. Yep. I meant to actually bring that in the room.
Yeah.
But y'all, we went through hell and back just to start this today. As you could tell by our sweating.
Oh my God, we sweat bullets in here right now.
Right. And we still put on blankets because that's the mood.
Set is hot right now. But
it's a hot set. Hot set. But yeah, so then we had to go on good old Amazon and order the movie, pay for it.
Yes.
They got their little residuals, I guess, so because that was the only way.
Now she's the owner of the worst.
If you want to see it, if you know me, hit me up. I'll share the DVD.
And also, by the way, we're not deeming this as the worst movie ever. This was found on Rotten Tomatoes, so you guys can definitely check that out, which is kind of a known kind of critic site that kind of does that with movies and kind of gauge if they're good or bad or whatever. And so this was their top one worst movie rated.
Has 119 critic reviews and over 10,000 reviews from audience members.
Yeah, so it's
That's
a lot.
That's crazy. Like, we went through various different lists to see, like, what would be the worst. This one was on most of them. If, like, it was number one on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was on really most, if not all, in different positions. So, you know I earned it for a reason.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And I definitely want to go into some of these reviews and then give the reviews of what other people thought, and then we'll give the reviews of like what we thought and those kind of things, and kind of go from there. And that was another thing that really got us to doing this because, again, when we saw it and we started reading the reviews were like, it's so crazy. You're like, oh yeah, this is definitely the one. So I'll go ahead and start with one first.
Okay, I'm a blot while you do that.
If technology is going to...
well, I got some already ready.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
So, Ethan D on... Rotten Tomatoes said, I slept for 37 hours, woke up, then I drank 7 Red Bulls, 16 5-hour energies, and 4 lines of cocaine, and I watched this movie standing in the shower on cold. I still fell asleep during this film. And like, Q fell asleep multiple times during the film.
I was struggling.
So I had to like hit him because I was like, we're watching this for the pod. Because the first time when we watched the first 20 minutes, you fell asleep, and then which is fair.
I think people on YouTube to let us know. Like, first of all, can you hear us? Can you not hear us? Like,
well,
what's happening?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who's to say? Because there's no one there to say so far.
They keep leaving us. That's all. Like, are they leaving because they're like, yo, we can't hear you, or
I don't know.
Is everything good? We don't.
I don't know. Really I don't know what happens if you exit out of it though. Like
exit out,
or like put it down.
Oh, no, I think
it's okay. Okay.
Do this really quickly. But
well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna read some other ones. Ooh-wee. It definitely don't sound good now. How's it sounding to you, Holly? Let us know. Hi, guy. Can you get that to stop? Y'all know we're gonna have some technical
always gonna have the difficulties. You doing this in front of company. Like
is it plugged in from the mic to the... Is it a different thing? Oh no. Okay, you gotta turn it off because literally our viewer is saying this hurts her ears.
I don't know if YouTube has sound or not, but...
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Hopefully it does, but I don't know.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out.
It was fine for a while. Is it fine now? It's better, but is it okay? Like, can you hear us clearly? Do we need to talk louder? Okay, much better. Okay.
You got
cool.
good eyes. I can't see none of that. I can't see nothing people say. Okay, you have yours? Okay.
Yeah, so this is from a critic, Michael Compton. if you see Ecks versus Sever, just go bang your head against the wall for an hour and a half. It would have the same effect.
This one says, Bollocks, yucks. Bollocks, yucks versus severed my brain cells is what I can describe as a war crime. I honestly don't know what the thought process was when making this godforsaken movie, but it's a diamond freaking hard to figure out what is going on and to keep up with the story. I usually like movies with explosions, but God, this movie was a chore.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, this one says, don't watch this movie, do anything else. Play some games, go on a walk, watch better movies, or even go shit for 2 hours. That would be more entertaining than this awful movie.
He was really coming with it.
Oh, and then this one says that their college friends were walking through Horton Plaza in San Diego when the movie came out. There were people outside the theater giving away free tickets to see it. So not only was it was in movies still struggling because people were giving away tickets for free. So throughout the whole movie, no one said anything. And usually, people to be talking at the movies. And it said it was just mind-numbing awful. They sat through the whole thing, and once the credits started rolling, someone shouted, "What the actual fuck?"
I think that was our thoughts exactly, too. Uh-huh. It says, it's so trash, I literally cried while watching this because I wasted money on a garbage movie. I would rather touch some grass than watching this absolute dog crap of a movie. I would kill the director of this money and get my money back.
Oh my God.
I killed the director.
Well, okay, so fun fact. Well, actually multiple fun facts. Let me start with the fact that I told you I would tell you, but I haven't told. Like, I said I got something to tell you that's going to make you, like, sad a little bit. But I won't tell you until we're recording.
Right, you did say.
So, when we first had this idea, there weren't that many videos out about it. Not many people had reviewed it. Some people have. They had good numbers. We watched this yesterday. I ended up watching them, and they were great videos. Nothing to knock the creators here, because they did a great job. However, there was a video posted 8 days ago that has 115,000 views.
Really?
About this movie.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I saw that and was like, what the fuck?
Could have been us, right? Say could have been us?
Right.
Oh,
well, he seemed like he had a lot more money to put in the production value, but...
Oh, okay. Well.
Yes, still, we could have gotten some of them, like, damn.
It's okay, we're going to get some.
We going to get some more. Right. And I love y'all, and thank you for being here. Yeah. But I was just sad, because I was like, now it seems like we're like, that came out, and now we're doing this. Bitch, we thought of this 3 months ago. Like,
Let them
know. Yeah. But yeah, all the creators did great. Definitely check out their videos after this live. And yeah. Also, another fun fact. So yesterday we had a completely, you might still have the same opinion because I did a bunch of research today, but our opinion was that it was on the directors because they had good actors in it. And the acting wasn't acting, like it was not giving, but we were like, okay, it's probably mostly on the director, it's not on the actors. Turns out, it's on the studio, it's not even on the director.
I saw something about that, the studio interfered or something,
yeah.
It was like a comment somebody put.
Not only did they interfere, they fired the director, Chaos, before they did edits. So he had, the whole beginning of the movie is just, let's put in action shots, and let's have a car chase, and let's blow up shit. Let's not say a damn word for 20 minutes, and then just have explosions, and then not ever say character names until halfway throughout, not give any background to who these people are. Like, the Ecks had a big old scratch on his head, and they were like, what happened? He was like, haircut. Never heard any other thing. Yeah, right. We also heard that he was like this bomb-ass like fighter. Never saw him fight until like halfway through. Yeah. And then when he did fight, they were saying, oh, you got beat up by a girl. Which also, I didn't like that part. Yeah. When the little girl, the staring contest with the little girl lasted way too long. Yeah. And then also, the fact that the guy was like, my daughter was asking what was wrong with you, and then I said you got beat up by a girl, playing into the fact that you are less of a man because you got beat up by a girl because women are not on the same playing field.
Right.
And that pissed me off.
Definitely pissed me off. Because Lucy Liu was doing her thing in that movie anyway. She was carrying it from the beginning to the end as far as stunt work go. And
they had 3 months of stunt work training.
Yeah,
and she said that was more than they did on Charlie's Angels.
Oh wow.
And she did more stunts. They did their own stunts for the most part. They really did. Really, wow. It's insane.
The stunt work was actually really, really good. I think there was one moment where I think one of the kicks Amanda saw didn't connect, but I thought
it did not connect.
Yeah, but that's just because we pay attention to those kind of stuff.
I saw the space in between her foot and his face.
Yeah,
which was the director's fault because he shot that.
Right. But the fact that he put it in though.
He wasn't in the editing room.
This is crazy that they would do something like that.
Yeah, and apparently there were all these scenes that were going to be added that told the whole story, that explained. There was this random origami at the end.
Right.
Never explained. There was random origami throughout. Never explained. There were scenes that set that up. There were scenes that set up his fight that explained why he was hurt. One thing that was not only the director's fault, but also the sound department's fault is that we had the sound up to 80.
Yeah.
And the only person who I could hear consistently was Lucy Liu.
Yeah, for real.
That was it.
Even though in regards to, she didn't really have many lines. So
she didn't.
Which is crazy too. She didn't have any lines to say that was the only person we heard. But,
right.
And it was so crazy throughout the whole movie. I bet it was literally
I was just turning it up. Turning it up. And it's on DVD, so we don't have the subtitles. We're working with early 2000s technology here. Okay.
It was all the things.
Yeah, and then turns out I didn't have the remote. It's whole thing.
It really was that kind of a movie, no exaggeration. I kind of see exactly where they was kind of going with it. Even though I will say overall though, in a kind of crazy weird, it was so bad it came kind of good. So for me, I actually felt myself it's not that bad. Only because you really kind of you start to see where they were trying to go.
Yes.
You see it had really good potential. It just, I don't know, the execution.
It did have potential.
Yeah.
I will give it that. And that one shot of the man going backwards that he goes into the car, the slow-mo shot, that was actually great. That was my favorite part of the whole movie, was that specific shot. It was shot beautifully. It was a cool thing. I looked up more, and Chaos, the director, actually requested that. Okay. Requested them to build a car that he could actually hit. Because in a lot of movies, they cut right before the hit, and then they'll drop them real close and do a whole thing. But he wanted it all the way, and that was beautiful, and that was his. And who knows what he could have done with this film had he given the opportunity and the studio hadn't robbed him. They also robbed a lot of people. There's a lot of financial trouble that they got into. That studio no longer exists.
Oh, really?
Fun fact.
That makes sense.
They popped out all the Battlefield Earth or whatever it's called. They did that one. They did a bunch of not great movies, but
which is probably why they no longer are
around. No, they went bankrupt.
Oh, really?
Because they borrowed. There was some loophole, and it stopped in 2006, where German companies they only had to pay taxes on investments that they made money on. So if they lost money, that was all a write-off. So they lost $30 million, got to write it all off.
Wow. It was $70 million to make this movie.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so then I watched one of the videos that's out on YouTube. I watched with the director. It was an interview with him, and he said that the budget was actually $35 million. He still has the paperwork to prove it. So where did the rest of that $35 million go?
Oh, right.
Where did I'm not saying that this man did it, but the math ain't mathin', because he made inflated budgets to multiple other movies that he lied about the budget and pocketed the cash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then one of the German companies ended up suing him, which caused him to pay over $100 million to them and caused him to go bankrupt.
Bankrupt as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, as they say, listen, don't pay. You know what I'm saying? Well, crime does not pay.
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
But I know they only made $20 million back from box office. or maybe close. So
yeah, way. He said that there was only like $15 million that was lost from the budget, not necessarily what they got from investors.
Right.
And I couldn't find anything about where that money went.
Right. Oh, you already said wait. Actually, now we're back to the German company.
Yeah, but we're not saying we're not liable. We're not saying.
Oh, so allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't know where the money went.
Yeah.
You want to see the receipts,
right?
But but I felt like most of the budget definitely went to the amount of explosions and bombs. There was points in the movie where they literally was just shooting off grenade launchers.
Yeah.
For like no reason.
So many grenades.
So many grenades for no reason.
No reason at all. And they also,
I mean, so
every
much stuff was
single
blowing
person,
up. So much stuff was blowing up for no reason.
Yeah.
Everything was blowing up.
And getting shot. Not maybe the guy that was I can't remember his name because they maybe said it twice. But the guy that was like the head honcho that got Ecks to get back on ended up, he got shot and died. He was the only one that maybe was semi-believable with how he got shot. Everybody else was like,
yeah. No blood.
No blood.
There's no blood.
No blood. Even when they got cut on their face, no blood.
No blood.
Also, apparently those knives that they used, they were plastic, but they were really sharp. So Lucy Liu was doing behind the scenes, she was talking about yeah, but they're really sharp. So if he would have accidentally cut my throat, he would have cut my throat for real.
Oh, really?
Not Lucy Liu put her life on the line for it to get 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
She put her life on the line the whole movie. I do give it that. I really do give Lucy Liu her due in this movie. I really felt like the scene she was in and really her carrying her part of the story, I really felt like she was definitely kind of the strongest one in there.
They were the third and fourth choice too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Chaos wanted somebody else. I can't remember their names, but they were two actors. One of them was a Thai actor that was very famous, and then but then the studio was like, nah, and then they pitched Vin Diesel and Sylvester Stallone, and then Stallone's in an interview with the guy that ran Franchise Pictures, and the guy was like, hey, we got him for 2 more movies, and Sylvester Stallone shook his head no. And then changed the subject.
Said no, he already knew. I won't put my name on it. No. Yeah. And it was so crazy. She was looking up, she was I think he was yesterday, it won 8 awards. She was like, what?
It was nominated.
Nominated for 8 awards.
Did you? I have it pulled up. No. So these nominations, all right. So I feel honestly, the first nominations should have also been to the cast because they had to do a lot of their own stunts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But hold on, I'm trying to find the Antonio Banderas, Lucy Liu. What's the other dude's name? Ray Park. Sorry, Star Wars fans, you're gonna murder me for that one. And Greg Henry. I feel like they should have gotten a lot of recognition for the stunts that they did.
Yeah.
But the 5 nominations were 4 nominations. Best high work is Scott Leva, who he actually. So when they did that car scene where the 2 cars flipped over, so that was a stuntman that actually had to do it with the cars right behind him and had to time it perfectly or he would have died.
Oh really? Wow.
So they did so many things that were against safety here.
You're right. Everything.
I do not understand. Welcome. Put it in the chat if you can hear us because we're not sure how well you can hear on YouTube, and come to Instagram if it doesn't sound great. Yeah, and then best overall stunt woman was Ming Q, I think. If I'm butchering the name, I'm so sorry. Best overall stunt by a stuntman went to Scott Leva, who did that stunt with the cars. Best overall stuntman. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna butcher these names except for Tom Elliott.
Oh no.
But there's a bunch of people in there. Like all the stunts got 4 nominations.
The stunts were good in the movie.
And then the other nomination is from the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards for Worst Actress to Lucy Liu.
Which is horrible.
I know. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Lucy Liu is like the greatest actor. Most of the stuff that she does, I don't believe. I see a person acting and not like a person living their real life that sure happens to be a camera watching. Like, you know, but she didn't deserve this amount of hate because the script said that she's supposed to be cold and like callous, and the directors, the writers, and then inevitably the studio and the editors, because they fired the original editor too, and then brought a different editor. They fired the original composer and brought in the one from The Matrix, and it wasn't even supposed to have all that techno music at all. It was supposed to be nothing like the final product. Which is why Chaos says, like, not my movie, not my president.
I feel like at this point, it's like maybe they did everything they could so it would be a write-off. Like, it's almost like they purposely sabotage this movie is what it sounded like.
Yeah, and like, I really, really wish that Chaos gets another chance to actually recut this movie. Like, if Warner Brothers gives the footage over to him and let him edit the movie that he wanted, because I still don't think it would be a banger, but it would be nowhere near the worst movie ever. I feel like if we had all those scenes that established characters and relationships. Now that would Vin, which we didn't learn her name until the movie was almost over, is X's ex-wife, who he thought that she died and she thought that he died because the evil man, which we don't know why he's evil, we just know he's evil, we have no context to how he became this way. He set up the whole thing and then married her.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But her acting was terrible. I'm sorry, girl. It was awful.
And again, I don't know if those the director things too.
But I saw her in an interview, and I was like, girl, you're not giving anything in this interview either. So I feel like it's you. Like, she was like deadpan, like no connection, like didn't care. Lucy Liu in the interview was like giggling, laughing, talking about all this stuff. You could see all this emotion all over her face, see that she was capable of it if she was given the chance. And then, like, I can't remember the girl's name, Vin's actor.
Like I said, this just wasn't really giving much. And again, maybe that's because of the way they cut it, but I mean, from the movie itself, like I said, it wasn't like they were giving anything. Like I said, the lines were minimal. Like I was like, this probably was the easiest script to write. Like I had to bet that it probably was 10 pages worth of actual dialogue.
Like, I guarantee you.
For a whole hour and a half movie. Seriously.
The notes that I wrote for this, I guarantee you are longer than the damn script.
I'm sure it has to be.
Like,
it really has to be.
Hey, Parky!
You know, few lines in between.
Yeah.
Like I said, lots of stunt things going on in between a line. Like I definitely look. It was like definitely like 2 minutes in before the first.
It was just basically
lines. And it was like kind of one-liner things. Like I said, it was this explosion that happened at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
With no context. It was like 2 cars blew up, and it was like nothing touched the 2 cars. Then they didn't explain the explosion of the 2 cars. It was just like
they never went back to it.
Never went back to it. Never addressed it. Why that happened? How it happened?
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was so.
If you're just tuning in, we are live reviewing Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever, rated the worst movie on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, the opening scene is the explosion. Then little boy Michael, he's the name that we heard the most. Michael gets out of the plane with his mom. I can't remember if they exactly explained it. I think they did because she was like, your son, but they never said like mom. Right. And then she was going to see his dad. Then there was a plot twist later we'll get to, but his dad, and then I couldn't tell who was the dad and who was the worker, but then like the dad ended up killing the worker. We didn't find out he was the dad until after he had already killed his like number 1 guy, and
and like they kidnapped his own son. I was like, what are you doing? Did she kidnap the back? I was so confused. I was like, what is he doing?
No, and then they also had 2 like random minutes in the middle of it where they were just reading the screen, but then it was not zoomed in enough where we could read along with them, so we just watched them read. We didn't know what they were reading. They were talking about what they were reading.
That's so
I was like, what the... And then, oh my god, I cannot even explain how extremely boring the first 20 to 30 minutes were.
Legit. Legitly. Like, it really takes, like I said, really was like over halfway through before you really started figuring out what was really happening. What was the purpose? What was really going on?
And you still never find out most of it. And I literally wrote down, and I bet this is why she got the job. Sorry, girl, but like, I wrote, woman is so hot but can't act.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say, she probably got it because she got a pretty face. As bad as that sounds, but she's very beautiful. So
yeah, and then one of the videos on YouTube I was watching too, they were like, tell me how her and Antonio Banderas created that little white boy. A lot of the movie, like even when they had the boy, there was no fear. Oh yeah, there's spoiler alert on that. Antonio Banderas was actually the father, and then the evil man wasn't. So I don't know if they were trying to make it look like we didn't catch on to that because that boy looked more like the evil man than Antonio.
And
like
I could tell too because they waited so long to really like reveal that part of it to where it seemed like that's what they were trying to do.
And the homegirl, okay, so Vin, your kid is missing. You don't know where they are, and you know they're in danger. Got stolen by someone you don't know. Your husband isn't telling you anything. And you're just like, better take a trip to the aquarium.
She went to the aquarium. She went to the... She's like, you know what? I'm not going to... She literally said, I'm not going to deal with this. Next scene, she's at the aquarium.
And then they have a non-verbal, like, couldn't understand anything scene in the darkness where you could just see fish, but you can't really see their faces.
So funny. Like, why is she playing with these dolphins and her child missing?
Yeah.
It was so...
She was there for a while, too, because Ecks was, like, looking at her from the outside when she walked in and waited a while to be able to go in, and then she was still there, and then they still had their whole rekindling there, and it's like... And then, did she tell him that he was the father at the aquarium, or was it, like, when they left the aquarium?
I don't know. I thought maybe at the aquarium, I think.
It was right around that time. I think that was maybe what sprung him into action. Like, she was, like, not worried about it, and then he found out he had a child, and he was like, let's go.
Let's go, right.
Oh.
Which wasn't explanatory either, that, that she was even pregnant, that they were actually even married. Like, even from the flashback scene, like, it looked more like they were dating than married.
They just kept on saying wife, but I didn't believe the relationship. Yeah. They did not seem in love at all. I did not believe that she was pregnant at all. I did not believe that she even wanted him to not go out in the field more. I did not believe... Literally not a single relationship did I believe, except for maybe Ecks and Sever. Maybe. Even then, I didn't believe any of it. I didn't even believe, and I thought that the captain or whatever he is was pretty good. I didn't even believe his relationship with him. I didn't believe nothing.
I didn't
like,
know
not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Like, I cannot... Y'all, if you can muster through this, like, definitely watch it for just
your own kicks and giggles, and just to see if you have a different...
I wrote basically a silent film.
A silent film with explosions, yo.
You hear the explosions clearly, you don't hear anything else.
Yo, that's funny.
Oh my god.
I was like, guess they was like, yo, go heavy on the ballistic part.
Yeah.
Like, that was the big thing.
Oh yeah, the kid laughed when there was a car explosion. He started laughing, and then he was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be scared. I'm supposed to be serious and scared. And they kept that in the movie.
They definitely kept it in the movie.
I guarantee you, if like the actual editor who was originally hired for it and Chaos were able to be in that room, they would have caught that and wouldn't have kept it in. Like, I don't know if the studio thought like, oh hey, kids laugh at fucked up things sometimes or what, but like, what kid is gonna see people dying and exploding and be like,
Especially because he was getting kidnapped. He was getting taken at the time.
Like, he was getting drugged around. Also, his quote-unquote dad was putting him in the line of fire. Like, he was holding him up.
Shielding him? I was like, he was a shield?
He was holding him up, and then he said, stay here, but he didn't say, like, get down or anything. He was just like, stay here, and then the kid just started sitting. Like, and that was it. He was sitting while they were doing shoot. Even, I don't understand. Even if you don't understand, like, lay down on the ground, like, I would just think that maybe, like, you're a kid who could fit under a car. Maybe you try for that. I mean, there were exploding cars. Maybe you thought there'd be an explosion. Then get the fuck away from the car.
Right.
Like, lay on the ground. Like, do something. Even the kid wasn't given nothing.
Yeah, they was...
I'm not mad at the kid, though, because...
But he was a part of it. Chaos was a part of the whole... filmed though time ago, right?
Yeah, but there were a bunch of scenes that he, like, the whole music was going to be different, the whole setup was going to be different. He said all the beginning was going to set up the story and not be a boring mess. Right. He literally, on that interview I watched, was like, that's not my movie.
Legit.
And I feel bad for him because not only did he have this, but then he had like 5 blockbuster, huge films that approached him during this. But Alan, who wrote the play, gave him the play for free. Like, gave it to him at an auction for free, essentially.
Oh, wow. And
so he felt obligated to do this. And then, he turned down all these blockbusters. After this, didn't get any offers. Yeah. And then he did Tekken 2, which was apparently horrible. He knew it was horrible. He said it was horrible. And he said, okay, I'll do it, but I want it written in my contract that you don't say I directed it. You don't write my name on it. And they did.
Oh, they put his name on it?
Yeah. They said directed by Chaos. And then he contacted them about it. It was like, it was written in my contract to not do this. And they were like, sue me then.
Right. I guess I would have.
Yeah, but I think he was too poor to sue. And he was like, explaining, like, this is my livelihood, and I don't have many opportunities, so I gotta take what I can get.
Right. But then for them to turn me bad, of course, then you don't get opportunities after that. Cause it's
know.
Who directed that? You look him up, which I was wondering, too, because for a long time, it was hard to find him. It was like, who? You had, like, even on the back of it, it was, like, so hard. It was like, and then his name was at the end, which is normally... The directors and stuff are normally at the beginning of, like, the cast, and his name was, like, at the very end, and then it wasn't, like, his full name, I guess, to try to throw folks off, type of thing. Yeah,
well, he used both. Like, Chaos was, like, a nickname given to him that he just kind of went with.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of his last name, because his last name was, like,
yeah, exactly.
It's long.
I tried to practice, like, saying it, and I...
Say no.
I couldn't. Also, we found out after 15 minutes that the evil man is an agent. We didn't know that. We didn't know what his backstory. We knew nothing about him. I mean, we could assume he was an agent, but they said nothing. It was just Lucy Liu springing into action against him.
Because like, he was on the phone, and you just knew he was somebody. You just knew he was somebody important, though.
And that he leaves town. Because she was like, "You just got back into town. He just got back into town, and now you want to take him away from me."
Yeah, which makes sense now. That part, because at first that part didn't make any sense, but of course at the end. It made sense when they was like why he was going, but they didn't say.
Oh yeah! Also, the nano part, that wasn't even part of the original script. The studio added it in because they were obsessed with the Matrix.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they added in so much slow mo. Like half the movie is fucking slow mo.
Yeah, this is it's so crazy. This is part where they're like, we want you. It's like the beginning of the movie. We want you to be a part of this because. Whatever they told him to get him on board.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. He leaves the bar in slow-mo for no reason. It starts raining. It's slow-mo.
The rain did look cool in slow-mo, but...
He got like a cigarette that he like pulled once, then like dramatically threw it away. And then the next scene is basically like, he accepted the mission, like he's going to the mission. Like you never see him where he accepted the mission, but then the next scene after that is like, apparently he accepted it and was like in mission mode. Like,
and then got in trouble, and then they were like, you gotta let him go, and then they were like, okay, I guess. And then
that was a random slow motion part. Like why? Like it didn't set up anything. It wasn't showing like maybe he was pondering doing it again. I mean, now granted, he did make a statement that was like, hey, go stand back in the back for when he changes his mind. I guess to kind of allude that he knew that, you know, him telling him that his wife is still alive
Yeah,
was going to bring him in. You kind of get that, but again, it's not really.
Yeah. I audibly laughed. Like, I literally laughed out loud when the rain slow-mo thing happened. Because it was so dramatic for no reason.
It was so...
And there was no context. We couldn't barely hear a damn thing. So we didn't really know what was going on. And then also I was thinking, okay, if it's raining as hard as it looks like it's raining, ain't no way you're still smoking that cigarette.
Right.
So I'm glad he finally flicked it away, but he got some good puffs. Like, if it's raining that hard, I've smoked cigarettes in the rain. Like, I know.
Right.
Okay? I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I have. And in that much rain, okay, it will not smoke. It is too wet. Yeah. Like, for fire, that's why you cover up fire with water. That's why firemen use water hoses, because it puts out the fire.
It was a slow motion, so maybe it all happened quicker in reality,
well then they should have done fucking slow motion.
They should have done slow motion more. It was a stupid slow motion scene, I ain't gonna lie. It was ridiculous.
And like
really crazy.
I just can't get over the sound too. Because they barely had any lines. So you'd think if they barely had any lines, they'd want to hear most of them.
But that's probably what it was. Listen, the sound tech was asleep.
Yeah.
I got one.
Right.
He was sleeping.
And they did so many explosions. I wonder how the boom mic could even get in there for most of them.
Right.
Because they were like shooting all the way through.
That might be
they apparently created 4 buses for that like bus explosion that also made no sense.
Yeah, they had stuff blowing up for no reason. Like it was overkill. But like I said, it was a line of buses. They made sure all the buses blow up, like all of them. Like,
but they had like 4 for the one bus. They had 4 of them because they had one that was intact. Yeah. They had one that was half blown up that they apparently put the engine in the back of it.
Oh, specifically
so that they could still drive it.
There was that one shot that was like the way that I guess the bus separated. It was ridiculous. It made no sense. It was like, what? Like how does a bus just break in half?
Like completely like you're breaking a breadstick or something.
It was like, what?
Yeah, no, that made no sense.
That's where how the money went.
Right. And in that man's pocket, allegedly. Then she walks around the mall with a bunch of snipers around her. So why would she, like, how would she not know? If she's this intelligent, been through this much training, to not know until the last second that all these snipers were there, doesn't make sense either.
No. I don't know.
Like, I wrote, so lame, these slow-mo shots. But then I wrote, the shot of the man falling from the building was done really well.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I say is, like, super positive.
That was a really good one.
And that is a full-on credit to the director, because that was his idea, and he made sure it happened.
That one and I think the car stunts. Because there was another one that was, like, a good shot.
The flip with those cars flipping with the stunt man. I bet they could only do it a couple of times, but I wish I could have seen the stunt guy like really in the middle of the car. Like that's one that they should have put in slow-mo.
That should have been a slow-mo shot.
Why was that shot not in slow-mo?
That should have been a slow-mo shot.
The man was there and then he wasn't. So quick. Like you did half of this movie in slow-mo. Yeah. And one part that really, really needed to be full-on slow-mo, you just sped through it. Oh, yeah. Just like in the beginning, too, when I guess the captain got shot because Sever, I don't even know the name, Sever, whatever, he was talking to him on the phone on the roof. And then he's talking to him on the roof and saying, like, oh, yeah, she's around somewhere. And then the next shot scene is like he gets shot. And then you see Sever, like, coming around the car, like, immediately. It's like, what? Like, how did he get there? Also, why did he not have a bulletproof vest?
Right.
Like, and all their shirts were so tight that you could tell there was nothing underneath. And the bulletproof vest is pretty thick. And, like, why were there so many people watching this shootout as well? Yeah. But none of them got shot?
And like I said, even when the way he came around the truck as soon as he got shot, that basically where you were, you would have been there to see the person that shoot at least retaliate, shoot back, anything. Like it was so weird. Like just gonna have you come around the side, like it was so crazy.
Oh yeah, and then I said beating like 6 or 8 officers with wimpy sticks. It doesn't look like she has any force on it.
Oh, the little things she looked, they definitely looked like when she was hitting, you could tell they were rubber.
Yeah,
like, you could definitely tell wholeheartedly.
They looked horrible, and then she didn't put much force behind it, so then it was like Okay, well, I don't believe that you're actually beating 8 men's ass right now with these 2 whippy ass dicks. Yeah. What the hell? And then after that, I said, Q fell asleep is so boring. Yeah.
And she was like, stay away, this is not lobby. I'm like, look, first of all, these first 20 minutes that I already saw.
Yeah, it was the 3rd time we watched it because also in the middle of it, my DVD player gave out because I guess it collected so much dust from not being used.
Right.
And then we had to start from the beginning because I didn't realize I didn't have the I thought I had already gotten it from my mom, but the remote to the DVD player.
Right.
And so I got that this morning.
Yeah, so you had to start
we were
all the way over.
But
and I definitely went to sleep. That's that second rewatch.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, wake me up until the part where we catch back up.
I will say though, and I watched it again that second time. I will say it went by so much faster the second time.
I felt like that too because I felt like my sleep wasn't long at all. I was like, wait,
like so much faster. Yeah. Like I was like, okay.
It was crazy. That was like really like almost half the movie though.
Yeah.
At that point, which is also crazy because it didn't seem like it, but
no, it was like a third of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I wrote about the Predator guy hitting on someone and saying, come on, baby. We never got explained why that Predator was important. But there was this Predator man and this, like, younger girl in an alley. And he was like, come on, baby. Come on, give me some.
So weird.
And then he turned and saw Sever and was like, ooh. He said, ooh, baby. Or what did he say? Hold on. Come on, baby, and then she beats the shit out of him. We never hear about them
which was crazy because that whole scene when the guy was like, "Come on, baby," like it looked like she wasn't interested or he was like approaching her, like in a weird way or something. Then like Sever came and like thing like saved the day. But then she like beat him up, and then he like runs off. And then him and the girl run off together. And it was like, wait, so was he like?
It would have been great if she fully saved the day. And I guess she had so much going on, but like it was, and obviously it's not on her; it's on the damn Predator. But
it was the fact that again though, like the Predator ran off. Like him and the girl ran off to get like
you didn't beat him enough. Like he needed to not be able to walk. Like
they went off together. Like it was so confused. Like okay, they're together. They were not.
Yeah, and it was confused because
like they ran off together. They like holding hands and all. Like oh come on.
Yeah, and the girl was like it was confusing because it was like I mean no means no, point blank period. But then also the way that they did it was like the girl was like no and like rubbing into him.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like it wasn't backing up. It was like no.
And like and again, if it was one of those like flirty things,
like
if it was a flirty thing where we playing like that, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was kind of so weird to where you didn't really get that.
Yeah.
You didn't get that exchange. Like I'm just let me and then because women do too. You kind of go forward and then playfully, you know what I mean? But.
And sometimes it is playful, and sometimes it's like that is like a victim's defense mechanism is to like act like they're okay with it enough to not get hurt more.
Yeah.
So but I don't feel that like they.
But it's
weird,
really like I said, at the end they ran off together, so you get the impression that they were together,
or at least that she didn't like. Cause enough damage to get him like unable to get access to the girl.
No, but they literally ran off together. Like
I know,
like
but
they both was fearful of her, and they like
right.
So that's what weird because again it was she saved the day, then it'd be like at least that, and I was like oh my god thank you, and then maybe went another way. But the fact that they literally went off together,
it would have been perfect if she would have beaten the shit out of him, where like he literally could not like walk at that moment, and then the girl was able to say thank you, run the other way.
Run the other way, but they ran off together like in the same direction. It's like what? It was weird. It was a weird scene. It was a weird scene.
And then it's like it did not add to the plot in any way. And there's barely a plot to begin with.
It did it. Like it did take away at it. Like that was literally a shot that had it not been there, it wouldn't have done anything to the movie. Like
not
nothing.
a single thing. And apparently it was supposed to just be a revenge movie, and then the studio added all this other stuff because they were like it's no stakes, but it was supposed to be this like new thing that hadn't really started but is now very common in a lot of action movies where it's like there's no stakes but the characters need for revenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the studio didn't like that. And so then they added all this stuff and then took away the things that you needed to be able to understand and enjoy it as an audience.
Yeah. I mean, and now that you say that part, it definitely makes sense. And like thinking about how the movie is, like you can see where they kind of added that piece in and then try to make the whole kind of story revolve around, like, again, this whole nano chip thing that was supposed to be next level and all this kind of stuff. Which and was
I'm still, when he got his shot, he said, he flung out his arm and then he paused for a second and then he said, oh, like he like made a small sound. When you get shot, you're like, oh, like immediately, like react. Like you don't like you don't just be like, oh, I got shot. Let me think about it. Oh, ow.
Yeah.
Bitch, are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
This is so crazy. Which, in retrospect, if they get shot with a little nano thing, that would make sense because it wouldn't have penetrated that much. But the fact that I think she did put it in a bullet, so
is that how? Because I also never understood.
That's what she was. Because you said that, but when she was sitting at the thing and realized it, she put that other gun in the desk.
Yeah,
she had took it because she took it out his arm, which is why he went to it and said it's not there because she had already took it out.
But she took it with that one machine when she did that. Yeah, I saw that, but then
she put it in that bullet thing, and that's where she loaded it, and then
okay,
and then she put it in the drawer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Which is it was kind of missed for sure. It was kind of
like all the important things that you need to understand the story are either barely touched or completely taken out of the movie.
Yeah.